Let's get to Justice correspondent Pete Williams, who's following the information from these investigative ends. Pete, good morning to you. And let me first try to track down one thing that's been in some newspapers, and that is that these suspects may have been intent on traveling to New York. What do you know about that?
I think that's been pretty well discounted by now. It's based on a statement made by the owner of the car that was carjacked. He told investigators that most of the time the two brothers spoke a foreign language. They said, well, did you understand anything they said? And he said, yes, I thought they said the word Manhattan. But, I think they think, how many people say I'm going to Manhattan? People say I'm going to New York. He didn't really understand what they were saying unless they were speaking English. So it certainly was something they considered that day. That's why they stopped a train that they thought he might have been on. But I think by now they pretty well discounted it.
All right. Meantime, on Capitol Hill, lawmakers had a closed-door briefing about the investigation, and a lot of senators came out expressing some concerns that potentially agencies were not sharing information with regard to Tamerlan's trip to Russia in 2012. Is this another case of where, as we saw after 9/11, there's concern that agencies weren't sharing information with one another?
Well, the FBI insists that they were contacted about Tamerlan Tsarnaev once in early 2011 by the Russian intelligence service, which said it had reason to believe that he was becoming a follower of radical Islam. Agents checked the U.S. terrorism databases. They were looking for such things as contact with suspected terrorists. Then they interviewed him and members of his family and found nothing negative. So officials say the FBI asked the Russians for more information but never got a response, and they say that was the only contact from the Russians about him, just that once. But there is a broader question here about what should be done in cases like this. When a foreign government indicates concern about a U.S. person, when that person is checked out and nothing negative is found, should the case be closed, or should it create some yellow flag in the system? Should that person be on some kind of watch list so that if future questions arise or future travel plans are known, that person's status can be rechecked?
A significant issue for lawmakers to grapple with in the coming days. Pete Williams in Washington again for us. Thank you. And for more on the attack in Boston, the hunt for answers, catch a special Dateline tonight, 8, 7 Central, right here on NBC.